Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of 7 Days to Die. Today we're going to be concentrating on the questions and answers part of the guide that we've already started doing, and we've had a couple of people commenting on the video, and we've also had a couple of requests from the community. So today we're going to be talking about the digging aspects. So Dogface Mark has asked about the digging aspects of things, so we're going to be talking about that today. Fairly simple one and hopefully not too long and fairly straightforward. So, first of all, he's talked about how do we get things flattened out, and then how do we get things so they're like a bit of a ramp system. Well, the first thing you need to bear in mind about 7 Days to Die is everything is squared off. So, we work in squares. So, even though you can shape things up into any different kind of shapes, if you make it a triangle, you're still in the squared area. The same is also said for building, for digging as well. So if you go ahead and you dig into an area here, what you're actually doing is clearing the square area that you're working on. You'll see it's kind of squared off there. Let's get rid of zombies because we're not talking about zombies today. Go. You can see it is kind of a squared area, but you can also see that it isn't squared off, which is what he's asked about. What it actually does is it kind of makes it into a diamond shape. What do I mean by that? Well, if I actually get into here, and if I get in a block of dirt block, so when you hold it up, you'll see it's a diamond shape. So when you lay something down, that's technically what you're laying down. You can see it fits there. You can also see as well, it's actually on a 45-degree angle to what you've dug out. If you want to dig in a straight line, you're actually digging diamonds out. What do I mean by that? So if I dig here, like so, yep, we've now created a perfect line across, but it's also not flat. You'll also see I've gone diagonally. So if I was to go, for example, in the way you would normally think about, so which is this way here. So if we wanted a line going across here, if I was to dig that out now, let's use the auger so it's a little quicker. Here we go. There we go. You'll actually see it's kinda, but it's also messed up here. You'll also notice the diamond shape here. So it's not done the full area, as opposed to here, where it's actually squared off from where you've been digging. So just bear that in mind when you're doing a straight line like so. Now, why is this dip down here? Well, because technically, you've actually gone one block lower. So if you notice here, that's technically above the ground. But when it spawns it in, that's not above the ground. So for it to be above the ground, it needs to be the next layer up, which it isn't. See? It bleeds in. Whereas if we go to here, it jumps up straight away. That's because if we actually look, it is slightly elevated there. Just bear that in mind. Now, what do you do if you want to have a perfectly flat area? You can see here we can go in some sort of angle, but what I generally do is, well, first of all, what I do is I'd mark out my area. 3, 4, so we'll go for a 5x5 area. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 7. Go. Perfect. What we can see now is actually what I was talking about is it's slightly elevated, but we can see the elevation. But now I also have something to work off. If I now dig out these areas here, there we go. You'll see the low flatten out. Go. Get this area off here right now. You'll start to see that the diamond shaped formation we had when we were digging out earlier is starting to disappear. It hasn't disappeared. What it's done is it's basically removed it from the central sections and now placed it on the outskirts. You're giving yourself a natural flow into an area. And it happens to have nitrate here, which is a little annoying. That node will break when I drop it off from underneath, like so. But it won't because that block there is holding it up. There we go. Okay, so you'll straight off the bat, there's a couple of things we can notice here. One is it isn't flush with squared area like so. You can see it's going down in a slope. There's nothing really much you can do with that, but you have got your flat area now to work with. You can manipulate the ground slightly if you work like so, but what it tends to do is it'll take from above. But you can use that to your advantage. So if you want like a sharper looking way up, you can just dig parts of the ground out. If you want to do it a little bit more controlled, I'd probably suggest not using the shovel because you kind of get it boom, boom, like that. Whereas even though the auger is faster, it actually does it in smaller steps. It makes it a little bit easier for you to then go around and making something look like so. What you're also doing as well, as if you notice, is it's pulling away that extra bit off the top. It's no longer above ground. You can kind of see that the angle at which it was at before is a little bit less than it was. But it's not fully away. But you've got an area here that is flat. It's completely flat this now. The triangle section's gone. However, if you place something in, it does a weird ass thing like this. What it does is it technically remembers what it was previously. But if you want to get rid of that, you can go ahead and you can dig it out slightly, like so. You work your way around. It is lowering it down. You can kind of manipulate it to whatever you want to do. It does have some manipulation, but not a great lot. See there. So if you want something to be a specific level, the recommendation is to actually dig down below it. Like so. So you've now got your flat area here. Now, what if I wanted to make a ramp system? Well, your best bet to do that is do exactly what we've done here, but so then you can remember what you want to do next. So you can get that nice little flush angle. Well, let's just kill the screamer. Is if you actually put down a block like we've done there and go along a little bit longer where the nitrate is because we've got no upgrades. And then once you're done, so if you want the next level, you then go ahead and put the next level. What you're doing is you can see here that this is one up, one up, one up. So you know already that that's the ramp system you're going for. So then you then go to the next layer and you go, right, okay, now it's flush with it. I need to go one more down. There. One more down. There we go. And there you have a ramp. As you can see, it goes nice and smoothly down. Like so. Now, that is basically one of these. I get the shape. It's one of these wood frame ramps, basically. So it's the same slope as one of them. If you want it to be a less of a slope, once you unlock concrete, so if we go to concrete, get ourselves some blocks, concrete, when I can type, block. Go. What you will get are wedges, or wedge sections, should I say. So you get two sections. You get the wedge and you get the wedge tip. If I go ahead and get the wedge, which is one of my favorite ones to use, and I'll place it here so we can have a look a little bit better. And then we want the wedge tips. Wedge tip. So, okay, so it's not dirt coloured, but it's a nice smoother slope to go down with. If you do want it to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, you do have the paintbrush and the paint. Go ahead and get the paintbrush in, and let's get a pot of paint. You can then select what materials you want based off what you've got. There are some like flagstone paintings and stuff like that. Got wood, plywood, stuff like that. You can also pick a color picker, texture picker, like so. And you right click, Now, because obviously I did texture picker on dirt, it doesn't actually give you the dirt, unfortunately. It gives you nothing at all. I believe I'm going to constantly do it, because I don't think you can texture pick dirt yet. Yep, there you go. But if you wanted to change it to, you know, something, there you go, like wood. So even though it's concrete, you can have it wood coloured. And this is by far the better way of doing things like that. However, the question was regarding digging, and that's how you would dig a slope. That's the easiest way to do it. There are other ways, obviously, but this is how I find it the easiest way. I suppose the tools and stuff like that and augers. Auger is obviously found. You get the parts and you can build it. You can just go ahead and search auger. When I can type again, auger, and you'll unlock it by a schematic. And then you need all these parts to build it. You've also got perks and stuff like that which can help you dig in. Under -69 remove a loader, they'll help you. I've talked about that in the guides. And there are other things you can do as well. For example, you can mod your auger, modify. The higher the level it is, the more slots you get. And some various slots you can, various mods you can get. You get the Gravedigger mod, which helps against dirt. Diamond tip, which stops it degrading. You got the wood splitter, which is against wood, so good for chainsaws. Bunker buster, which is against stone, so if you're going to dig out stone majority, so a good one is to have the Gravedigger. So I'd have the Gravedigger, I'd have the diamond tipped, have the bunker buster, that's my stone, and then you've got a choice of using the iron breaker or the wood splitter. Obviously you're not going to use an auger for a wood splitter, so you'd use the iron breaker, which is for iron. The last one, which I haven't talked about, is the fireman's axe, which is more damage to blocks but less damage to enemies. It's good for things, actual tools like a fire axe, stuff like that. You can't put it on an auger. So those are the mods. You can obviously have a bit of colour as well. A part of that, and you'll notice things are improved slightly better. You'll see. So just bear in mind that you're working in a diamond alternate shape to what you're actually digging out. As you can see, again, if I place my shape, you'll notice that the actual shape itself is in alternate. So if I dig one out, there we go. You see they don't match. Maybe if you dig all the way around, it actually makes a perfect large square or a large diamond. But it's in alternate. So just bear that in mind when you're digging, and hopefully that'll help you out. Hopefully this has answered your question, Dogface Mark. If there's any more like that, let me know either on this video or on the original Q&A video, and I'll get back to you. But hopefully that's answered some of the things to do with digging, and obviously the tools as well. There are various tools in the game. I mean, this is the steel shovel, I think. It's the steel shovel, so you get the iron shovel, and then you get the normal little stone axe that you start off with, which does basically your digging and everything else to go with it. Tools is a little separate thing. It's nothing major. You shouldn't have too many problems with tools. It is what you'd expect it to be. Other than the starter axe, the stone axe does basically everything. It upgrades, it digs, and it mines. And you can get the stone shovel as well, which will then make it even faster for you. Everything else has a specific purpose. So an axe is, as you would expect, for wood, chainsaw for wood, auger for digging, shovels for digging, and a pickaxe for taking out iron and such. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. If not, join us on Discord. We have got a community server as always, and you're always welcome to join us. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.